Hello, YouTube. It's Lady Vet here for the recap of Power Book 4, Force, Season 2, Episode 3. So let's get to it. Tommy is beyond angry that he was shot at and his Mustang is riddled with holes. But the main thing is Tommy's convinced that treason shot at him for the Chewy situation, since they didn't come for Diamond. Diamond wondered if it could have been Miguel. Tommy told Diamond about the dead little girl. After Tommy and Diamond tried to figure out who it could be, Diamond decided to talk to Jannard, but Tommy was more determined to talk to Jannard himself. Non-stop to Jannard's place. Tommy was met at the door by Jannard, wanting to know what he wanted. When Tommy inquired about the shooter and told Jannard to look at his car, Jannard looked shook. Tommy told Jannard that a little girl was killed, and that was bad for business. Then Tommy realized that Jannard had lost control of his people. So Tommy told Jannard to handle his guy or he will. And if he had to do it, Jannard would be next. Diamond went home and offered his boo a job to move product in Southfield. Her first thought was Diamond is using her for his business. But then she started laughing and told Diamond that she is in, but they needed to talk big numbers. Diamond asked her if she knew how to move product, and of course she did. Now we know the name of the little girl murdered by Lil K, Letitia Palmer. The community held a rally in her honor. Stacy and the feds were present as Leon spoke against gun violence. CBI and treason came to the rally to get a better understanding of how this impacted their businesses. Jannard asked his guys about Lil K, but got nothing. Meanwhile, CBI guys looked on and looked at Jannard. JP confronted D-Mac about doing chores and wanted to know if D-Mac had any questions about him not being present in his life. But Tommy interrupted them about being shot at and brought a gun to the house for protection. D-Mac asked, can he have his guns, and was told no by both his uncle and dad. D-Mac became agitated about not having any guns and wanted to know if they thought he should be naked moving around the streets. D-Mac stormed off when he was told that he couldn't get a gun. Stacy and the feds held their task force meeting trying to determine why would Tommy get shot at, but not without resistance from DeFranco, because Stacy specifically requested him to the task force against his wishes. His first order of business was the murdered kid situation. Tommy had Big Smurf keep eyes on Jannard to see if he took out a crew member. Mainly, Tommy wanted to know who it is and if Jannard handles it. Kate surprised Tommy to talk to him about making amends for hurting him. Kate's list was so long, but she summed it up by saying that she wasn't the perfect mother and that she's sorry. Tommy wanted to know if Kate was serious, that she could not talk about not getting him ice cream when he was young because she spent the money on getting high. Tommy had a list of his own. Tommy's list was long also. Kate became offended. Luckily for Kate, Diamond called Tommy and he rushed her out as usual. Diamond had Tyrone in his barber's chair, proving how he changed since prison. Other than being startled by Big Smurf, Tyrone seemed to be more tolerant with Diamond's parole status. So much so that he suggested Diamond deepen his connections in the community by offering free haircuts. Walter and Victor are on their first project together since Vic's return to the family. Walter tells Vic how Claude changed passwords and tied up his money. As Vic tried to explain how she wanted Walter's attention and her loss with Dahlia blew up in her face. Walter changed the subject and asked Vic to help him get Dublin off of his back. Jannard popped in on Shanti to talk about Lil Kay's whereabouts. Shanti tried to tell Jannard to back down from Lil Kay because the people were already upset that a white boy killed Chewy. She told him that going after Lil Kay would create a mutiny. Jannard checked Shanti for taking sides with Lil Kay. Shanti then told Jannard where Lil Kay's grandmother lived and to be careful. Michael approached Walter and Victor, suggesting that he must have backed out of their deal. Walter corrected Michael. They talked about trust, and Walter told Vic to pay the man. They had drinks to celebrate the deal, and Michael commented to Walter about doing business on the South Side and the lack of concern for a bunch of monkeys dropping dead. Victor felt away. Victor had an issue, but was forced to admit that he didn't have problems, as Walter agreed and looked on. Tommy and Diamond were summoned to Miguel's torture room. Miguel patiently waited to go to work on those who betrayed him. Tommy asked Miguel if he wanted them to help him find the people who hid his truck. Miguel said that he found them. Since Miguel believed that his guys sold him out for money from the Serbs, he froze their hand and broke it off, with participation from Tommy and Diamond, while explaining that his grandma taught him the importance of family. When Tommy asked what were they called there for, Miguel said to show them what happens to people who betray him, then told them to get out. Officer Briggs actively oversees CBI product moved through the joint. Apparently, Briggs is not working alone. It seems as though she's got her team in place and really knows how to move product. She used her position to allow product inside and watch the transference to the inmate. Tommy met with Walter and Paulie on his quest to find Liliana's killer. Walter made it clear that he doesn't deal with his own the same way that Tommy does. Tommy thought that Walter was actually protecting his own. After a low-key threat, Tommy downgraded Walter to a laddie before walking away. Claude enters her place only to find her safe open and emptied. Claude immediately charged Walter about her supposed break-in. Again, Walter let Claude know that he is the boss, and the lesson for today is not to mess with Daddy's money, or he will revoke her security. Briggs surveyed the chow line and things were running smoothly until Rojas came through and noticed that CBI guys were running things. Rojas told his soldier that they run the joint and for him to get things sold up and get it done now. DeFranco made his way to Lil Kay's grandma's house looking for Wendell. He told her that he could protect him if she knew where he was. She told him that protecting black boys is not what they do, but if she saw him, she would let him know. Kate baked a cake for her grandson and tried to make amends with JP for leaving him. But JP had questions and put Kate on the defense. Like Tommy, JP did not let Kate off the hook easily. JP wanted to know, why was he left behind? Was it because he is black? Kate didn't like the way the conversation was going and told JP that she's not a racist, but an ally. Kate told JP that it is complicated. JP told Kate to forget it and walked out. Lil K was stopped by Jannard with a gun to the back of the head. Lil K told Jannard that it was the wrong call. Jannard explained to Lil K the detriment of his actions and now having the feds on him. Lil K's grandmother interrupted by offering some cookies, then told Jannard that if he kills her grandson, he had best kill her. Jannard stopped eating the cookies and warned Lil K to respond when he spoke. As Jannard was leaving, he noticed Big Smurf tailing him. Tommy and Diamond talked about their problems with Rojas inside. Because of Rojas, they lost 2 keys when Cell Block got raided. They sent the lawyer to meet with Rojas. About Jannard, Tommy has given Jannard a few hours to handle Lil K, or he will do it himself. And they talked about the Walter meeting, so Tommy is headed to Claudia to meet with her. Kate's AA meeting was very touching. She talked about being sober for a short while in her life and finding some clarity. She shared her story about being a bad mother to both of her sons, how she was young and what her mother told her about trying to raise a black son. She talked about trying to make amends, but it didn't go so well. Kate is unsure about her feelings now that she doesn't use drugs and alcohol to cover up. Victor begins his Walter takedown. Victor snitched on Michael's carrier with one phone and called Walter on another phone to tell him that they have a huge problem. Tommy met with Claude for answers. Claude told Tommy that she did not kill Liliana. Tommy tried to get Claudia to come clean, to no avail. Claudia told Tommy that there were many bullets flying that night, and it might just have been friendly fire. Tommy told Claudia that he knows that she killed Liliana, and as soon as he can confirm it, she's dead. Rojas met with Diamond's Cinder lawyer, Jinsu, with a CBI offer from Diamond Sampson. The offer was a chance to work for CBI and not the Serbs at a better price. Rojas was determined not to ever work with CBI. Following the suggestion of his parole officer, Diamond gave a free cut to Leon, the youth speaker at the rally. Later, Diamond interrupted some guys outside the barbershop that were trying to jump Leon and offered to teach him boxing lessons. Lil K accompanied his grandmother to the check cashing store where DeFranco met with him and tried to get him to snitch, but was interrupted by Lil K's grandmother, and she told him to leave her grandson alone if he is not under arrest. Officer Briggs isolates Rojas with drugs planted on him, and she gives him options for not playing with CBI. After letting him know there were no wins for him when she reports what she found, A reluctant Rojas chooses option CBI. Mirkovich wants his payment from Gennard. He wants a couple of days extension. Mirkovich warned Gennard that he will collect until he is given the projects. So his crew boxed Gennard in and asked for his keys. Gennard, in the middle of the street, objected, and at gunpoint he was snatched out of his car for payment. They left Gennard outside of his car, running alongside until he stopped. Tommy cornered another Flynn bodyguard for answers about Liliana. The guy refused to give Tommy the answers that he wanted, and Tommy killed him. After Mirkovich took Gennard's car, he was picked up by Lil K. Gennard questioned Lil K about spending time with DeFranco, and Lil K questioned Gennard about being high on his own supply.
You just said, get us up. Nigga, what up? Huh? What's up? Huh? Nigga, what? What's up? Huh? What's up?
Then Gennard took Lil K's body and dumped it near a trash bag as Tommy looked on. Satisfied that Gennard handled business, Tommy checked on his family and found black raspberry ice cream in the fridge to his delight. He looked over and helped an exhausted Kate to bed, but not before thanking her for the ice cream. Michael was summoned to Walter's estate, where he met Walter and Victor waiting for an explanation of Michael's courier getting caught up with Flynn money. Michael's solution was a 50-50 loss, and each go their separate way. Walter asked Michael if he thought that he could mess him over. Michael responded that he was the one being messed over. Before Michael could say more, the simpleton Victor killed him and told Walter he was bad for business. Walter was furious and told Victor to clean up his mess. JP reached out to D-Mac to clarify why D-Mac found his dad before his dad found his son. JP thought that being gay would be a factor because he was ashamed, and D-Mac's mother said that it wouldn't be good for their son. He asked D-Mac to forgive him. They hugged it out, and D-Mac took the gun from the drawer after JP left the room. Diamond and Tommy went to Miguel for double the product at a discount. Miguel asked questions about their timeline in moving product and needing to re-up, and what's really going on. They told him about their new system in the joint, but Miguel still wanted them to wait. DeFranco, along with the police, discovered Lil K's body dumped near a garbage bag. Clearly, he was upset. After Miguel put Tommy and Diamond on hold, Tommy reached out to Maria to get a date. She gave him a time and place. This episode wraps with Gennard continuing to get high. In my opinion, Gennard started his day with Tommy Egan at his door. He lost his car to Mirkovich, he lost the trust of his crew, and killed a rebellious crew member. It's no wonder he felt to numb the pain. We will see what's next for Gennard. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts. Until the next time.